You're right guys, welcome to the video. Genetics, how important are they when it comes to bodybuilding and trying to develop that ideal physique which you want to get? Let's get down to it and let's speak about it. So guys, genetics, as I said, genetics seems to be everything nowadays. You got people who's professional bodybuilders saying if you've got great genetics you can make it, but if you've got crap genetics you won't make it. And this is within bodybuilding shows and men's physique in general. So let's actually get down to it, like I said, and speak about it. Genetics, in my opinion, so what do I think about genetics? I do feel genetics plays a huge role. I'd never say that you can out-train genetics, but you can out-train genetic elites, okay? For instance, someone may have really good genetics, but they may not be actually putting in as much work as you are. They might not actually be trying as much as you do. So when you're in the gym and you're hitting, say, your 2-hour sessions 5-6 times a week, and you're eating your 6-7 meals a day, however it may be, you're staying so consistent and you're just keeping up to date with everything. Whilst this genetic elite guy, just because he's got good genetics, he may think, oh, I can get off by only doing 4 sessions a week and only eating 3 meals a day instead of 6 or whatever, and he starts dipping. His progress may not be as substantial as yours because you're doing the more efficient way, like you're going the more efficient route. So, are genetics important? Of course they are. Yes, genetics determine your bicep peak and whether your outer sweep's bigger than your inner, and do you know what I mean? Just so many different things. It determines the size of your muscles and how big you can get in the natural range, should I say. But as well as that, your genetics plays like roles within symmetry. For instance, your abs. Some people have perfect 6-packs, while some people only have 4-packs. Great example of this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, only had a 4-pack. But you can still do well with these rubbish genetics, should I say. I mean, obviously Arnold's was never rubbish, his genetics, but they was not as good as, let's say, someone like Franco Columbu, for instance. But like I said, you still work hard for yourself. Like I said, Arnold had a 4-pack and he had really tiny calves. As well as that, his legs lacked a bit. But with hard training, like he showed, you can bring up these points and almost emphasise them to be quite a strong point. So, like I say, genetics plays a huge role, but you can train hard. But let's flip the tables, okay? Let's say you got the genetic elite guy doing everything the exact same as you. You're both training the same, you're both eating the same, sleeping the same, resting the same, everything's the same, apart from the fact that he has better genetics than you. So who's going to be better? Obviously the guy with better genetics, because he's just going to look more proportional and just a lot better when he steps on stage, simply because his genetics allows him to shine in comparison to other guys, okay? You get people like Dorian Yates, as soon as they compete, they've got this shredded, almost snake-like skin, okay? You can see through and it shows the graininess, yeah? That comes down to genetics. Also, age plays a role within that. But to get that conditioning and that grainy look as well, that comes with your genetics. You don't see everybody with that. However, if you condition yourself enough, you can almost make up for that and make yourself look really good. So, as I always say, genetics are such an important role within bodybuilding, but they're not everything, okay? Some people think, like I said, if you've got good genetics, you make it, and if you don't have good genetics, you won't make it. But, for instance, when I look at Kai Greene, okay, when he came second in the Mr. Olympias for, I think, like 3 or 4 times in a row, or whatever it may be, I don't feel his genetics were nowhere near as strong as Phil's, okay, as Phil Heath, the gift. But he still placed second, he still got up there, and there are people such as Sean Flexitron Roden, who I feel has better genetics than Kai Greene, but Kai allowed himself to put on more size to make himself look better than Sean. And like I say guys, that's a prime example. Genetics don't mean everything, but they do determine a lot. If you want to be the best in the world, you've got to have great genetics all in all. For instance, like I said, Phil Heath, his genetics sweeps everyone on stage. As long as he can bring his stomach in like he did in the previous 2015 Mr. Olympia, he will always smoke everybody there. Nobody's in his territory, and the only person who could come into his territory is Big Ramy, but I still honestly think Big Ramy's got at least another 2-3 years before he even wins it. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he's Egyptian, so politics will play a huge role as to whether or not he can win it. But my experience with genetics, okay, my genetics never been great, okay? Put it this way, I'm really short, I have heart issues, and just my foundation, I was an ectomorph, so I never had amazing genetics all in all. skinny, do you know what I mean, lacking size, quite unfit when I was younger. I mean, I used to do a lot of fitness, but before that I was quite unfit, if that makes sense. I've always been active, but I get tired out quick, so that's like the way I'd sum it up. So my genetics, no, they're not great. But what have I done? I've just trained hard, kept on top of things, worked on my nutrition, worked on recovering, and just like I said, my all general fitness. So you can make yourself work, you can still look really good with bad genetics. A good example of this as well, but let's say a natural bodybuilder, because all the others which I've spoke about have been enhanced or on PEDs. Louis Marco, a natural bodybuilder with, like he states himself here, I'm not saying this about him, I'm just basically reiterating what he said, okay? And that is, he said he's got bad genetics, but look at his physique. I'll try and attach a clip on screen of his posing right now. And this was I believe 3 or 4 years ago of him posing. So bear in mind, he's made a lot more gains since then. And he looks phenomenal for a natural athlete, in my opinion. Shredded, grainy, quite decent size, if I'm honest. I believe his arms fluctuate in between 17 to 18.5 inches. So you can really achieve a lot with bad genetics, but it all comes down to hard work and dedication and just putting that time and effort in. So many people are looking for easy excuses and easy results, should I say. Like, they think you can get a shortcut to having a six-pack. They think you can just get all these shortcuts in life in order to achieve what you want to do, but all in all, it comes down to hard work. I mean, like I said, genetics don't mean everything. I've seen people with extremely rubbish genetics and they've achieved a lot. But then I'm going to flip the tables once again, and I go to a commercial gym. I see so many people who look amazing and so many people who look crap, yeah? Whether they're on PEDs or not. There's this one girl in my gym, and trust me, there's plenty of women in my gym, but there's this one girl which stands out to me, okay? She's a youngster, I believe between 17, 18 or maybe 19 years old, and it's just phenomenal the gains she has. I mean, it is mind-blowing. She's probably bigger than what I am, near enough, or around the same. But for a female with obviously less testosterone in your body, you're producing less anabolic hormones, she looks amazing, okay? Her arms are huge, quads are out of this world for a female, and I honestly think if she keeps at it, she will turn pro, okay? She will get there, she will achieve a lot within female bodybuilding. And she looks quite good as well, do you see what I'm saying? So that is an example of amazing genetics. And whether or not she's on PEDs or not, you can still see the genetics are there. But like I said, I don't know whether she is, I don't know whether she's not, but I do feel that's quite really good genetics in comparison to a lot of people I've seen within my gym. And that may just be good genetics in bodybuilding, because there's other people out there with elite genetics. I think it's Big Ramy, for instance, yeah. He's only been training, I think, for around 5 years. Look at the size of him. He smokes people like Dexter Jackson, yeah, who's been training 15, 20, 25, 30 years. He smokes people with so much more experience than him. And he's not even on high dosages of PEDs from what we've seen in his results. And from basically just official reports from his trainers and so on. So this is what I'm saying, guys. Genetics are a lot, okay? They do mean everything, but, well, they do mean a lot, but they don't mean everything, sorry. So, like I say, guys, if you've got bad genetics, you can make it. You don't have to always think, oh, I can't do this because I haven't got the amazing genetics. Work hard, train your ass off, and do it. I mean, when it comes down to bodybuilding and to the top elites, genetics plays a huge role, okay? Almost everything, probably about 98%. But if you really are part of that, like 1 or 2% which don't have good genetics, if you work hard, and I don't mean just like turning up to the gym and going through the motions, actually putting your soul into that training, making them mind-muscle connections, never skip a meal, never miss something which you need to be doing. If you're part of that 1 or 2% who don't have good genetics and you do all that, you can be at that top level. So that is why you often hear people, even me or other people, say genetics are everything, because it's like an assumption, okay? It's the assumption of about 98% of people. So like I said, genetics mean a lot, but if you're a natural bodybuilder, you can still produce a lot of muscle. Whether you're enhanced, you can still produce and grow a lot of muscle. You've just got to work hard. Stop looking for excuses and saying, oh, this is why I can't grow. For instance, I've seen people, yeah, who's been training in the gym and they've been in there for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years, or whatever it may be, yeah? I've seen people in the gym for so long and they say, I can't build muscle, my genetics are terrible. And then you just ask them, how much do you eat? About 2,500 calories. Tell me how tall you are again? 6 foot. How much do you weigh? 170 pounds. Well, you're in the stage for your metabolism of cutting. No wonder you're not getting bigger. And they're like, oh, I never knew that. I thought I was eating 2,500 calories. That's a daily allowance, isn't it? And it just mind blows me. It's like, what? It's like you really have been training a few years, a couple of years, whatever it may be, and you don't know that. So a lot of it's down to nutrition. If you want to get big, eat. It's as simple as that, okay? So genetics determine a lot, but they don't determine everything, guys, okay? When you hear people say they mean everything and that's just for the top elites. But as I said, even if you are part of the top elites and you've got bad genetics, you can make it. You've just got to put your arse into that training and put your soul and your heart and every single thing you've got and go for it. So that's just my view on genetics. You guys leave yours down below in the comment section, as I really appreciate all your opinions and I really like to see your views to interact with you guys. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up because all of the support helps tremendously. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, and if you haven't, please subscribe and help the channel grow. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.